Hello, everybody. Welcome. Coach Kevin here. Full week, training week, 11v11 curriculum, season curriculum for soccer. We're going to focus on attacking and attacking half, and more specifically, we're going to focus on occupying all vertical channels. So you have the wing on the left and a wing on the right, and then the box, the 18-yard box width is basically three central channels. So we're going to focus on that and try to focus on some positional play here throughout the week. Progression week, so from Monday, Tuesday, all the way through Thursday, it's also progression. So we're always going to focus on the same thing over and over again, but we go from small-sided to expanded sided to high intensity, a lot of repetition. So this is week 33 in my periodization, tactical periodization, and physical periodization, session number 97 of the season. Vertical channels in a 3v2. So like I said, we're just going to focus on taking it from smaller numbers all the way to bigger numbers, 8v8. So here you're going to try and see if you can actually create a goal scoring opportunity in a 3v2 situation where you try to switch the play with a purpose and you try to make sure that all vertical channels are occupied with one player. Obviously, quick, decisive runs. Also, one trigger that I noticed at practice as well, that if the ball is played to the winger and the winger decides to dribble in, we want to make sure that there's an overlap from the supporting player, obviously the central player at that point. So that's something that I saw during my session last week, but I will show you how it is set up here. So it's a 3v2. I also included two progressions trying to focus on a switch of play, and that right here is a good example. I'll just stop and pause it here, where we try to occupy all the three different channels, the zones with different movements. So if the winger, left back, right back, whoever's on the field, decides to take the ball on 2 feet inside, then the central player will have to make that overlapping run. So all three channels are still occupied. So kind of let it go here where we finish, and then the next progression is where we try to make sure that the ball travels through all three different channels, which kind of emphasizes the fact and also a topic that we want to coach during this session, where we want to switch the play, switching the point of attack as well. It's a 3v2 situation, so obviously less dribbling, because if you feel the pressure, if you're the ball carrier and there's pressure on you, that means that players are open from your teammate. So the first round is always free play. Try to emphasize the fact that they want to create something in a 3v2 situation, numbers up. After that, we want to coach the fact that the attackers must occupy all three vertical channels, and then the third uh, play or third round you can actually do where every channel, the ball needs to pass through every channel before they can finish. So really emphasizing the switch of play. I'll just let it run for the next 2-3 seconds so you see it goes from right to center to the left, and then we can finish. So that's Monday. On Tuesday we have a half field, so we kind of expanded numbers, half field space. So we go with a goalkeeper, um, with their back four and their two sixes. So we're playing against a team with that kind of structure in defending half or defending third. And then obviously our attacking team in possession. We have the wingers out wide. We have our nine. We have our two attacking mids and our six in midfield. And you see how I cut off the field here. So that emphasizes the fact that we really want to focus on those channels. I did not include the fullback, but the defending team is very compact in a 4-2 structure. The focus team, we play in a 4-3-3, but in this case, it's a 2-3-3 here in practice. So we want to make sure that all vertical channels are occupied. I'm just going to let it run right here where 6 has the ball and ball is played to the winger or anybody else, but this is a specific pattern or specific coaching point that I had, that if the ball is played to the winger, we want to make sure that we have support in front of the ball and support behind the ball. So if the ball is played to the winger, I coached my attacking mid on that dominant side to support the ball behind the ball, which is the 10 here that you see over on the left wing. Support behind the ball. Please notice that our number 9 always stays in the central channel because obviously you want to make sure that they're there to finish the attack with limited touches needed. But as you can see, every time the ball moves, there's always somebody in those channels. Um, and a lot of coaching points, obviously, a lot of repetition. So you have a 7v8 kind of situation. The problem is always going to be replicated, and you can coach the solution as well. A progression might be that you add a 9 here on the white team to actually press the 4 and 5. You can also add a 10 or just leave it as a 10 to pressure the 6, so you can implement the center backs as well for support behind the ball. But in essence, the coaching point are basically trying to make sure that all vertical channels, all 5, are occupied at some point. So that's for Tuesday. And Thursday, we have a quarter field space where we go into 3-team rotation. It's always going to be the same thing. We have a 4v4 in the middle, plus 4 bumpers. Obviously, 3 central channels here because of field space issues. So you have 4 on the field. Make sure that 1 player is on the right wing, 1 player is on the left wing, and then 2 players are central, if you want to label it as such. So there's always going to be a perfect diamond, or should always be a perfect diamonds for support as well. You can also focus and coach them when the ball is played to the winger, that obviously there's an if the winger dribbles the ball inside it, there should be an overlap because at that point there should be 3 people in the middle. But you can see that the diamond structure is always here. This is a perfect example where number 8 is going to dribble inside, so that triggers the run from somebody else, or the center mid makes the run first into an outside channel, so that triggers the first touch inside by the winger. But you can always see that there's always going to be a diamond shape in possession. The organization, obviously, you see we split into 3 channels that I marked off with cones. It's a 4v4 plus 4 bumpers. You can use the bumpers, but obviously the overlap, bumper receiving, and making runs, very important there to recognize the pattern. So there you go. Those are 3 sessions for the whole week. Progression, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Um, so that's where we're at. I see here, so the main principle, you want to create your attacking team shape. You want to break the lines to advance the attack, so trying to find a free player between the lines. The occupying vertical channels, so you want to make sure that you have optimal attacking distances between players, so spread out for optimal passing and distance between passing. Trying to create those relationships, like I said, the right winger receives, the right attacking mid will offer that support behind the ball. The left wing receives. We're going to make sure that the left attacking mid will support the ball behind the ball, and the 6 is there to support the ball behind the ball at all times, and also defending transition just in case we lose the ball. The what if question is very important. I'd like to touch base on the appropriate height, width, and depth. Is what we call staggered, so try not to have 2 players in the same line. It's better to have players in different lines, so you offer them a different passing channel as well at that point. So I touch base with this. Switching the point of attack, I touch base with that. Scanning or searching is a new word that people are using now at the pro level. It's no longer scanning, but searching. It's a little, it's the same, but it's just a different label. I also include the physical periodization here. So for instance, on Tuesday we did 7v8, goalkeeper plus 7v8, so we have 8v8 on the field. We would play for 8 to 10 minutes, have a 2-minute break, so that brings you up to 10, 12 minutes work versus recovery. We do that 3 times. That's 36. You do that times 10, so that's your 75-minute session right there, 80-minute session right there if you include the set recovery interval. So that would be an 80-minute session, full session, tactical game situation. If you look at Thursday, we have a 4v4 plus 4, so it's basically a 2-2-2, that kind of work, rest, recovery duration. So you work for 2 minutes, you rest for 2 minutes, is 4. We do that times 6, so that brings you up to 24 minutes. We do that times 2 or times 3, depending on how much time you have for your field space. So that's your full session right there, not including your dynamic warm-up and or cooling down. If you want to learn more about me, my name is Kevin. I'm Coach Kevin. I'm an A licensed coach. I'm also on Instagram. I have about 25,000 followers. I document my whole season. So season curriculum for any coach out there that doesn't have the time to do this. YouTube, would appreciate if you just click the ads there to give me a little something. But that's me. I did some work in the pro environment as well as a video analyst. I'm an A licensed coach. I have some kids in national teams, both in the US as well as in Europe. I coach 2 teams with the Knights. We have an MLS next bracket. And I am a CTL, Club Technical Lead or Director of Coaching. So hopefully this video will help you cut down the time for you guys to draft up any sessions, because this is basically a full training week for 3 sessions, attacking in, attacking half, focusing on occupying the vertical channels at all times. I thank you for listening. Please give me a like, a follow, comment, click the links, and thank you.